a 12-year-old girl suspended from school for 2 days. Her offense? Getting blonde and red highlights in her hair. Check it out. You see them right there. Stephanie Plato liked her mom's hair highlights so much that she asked for some of her own. For her 12th birthday, Mom said sure. But when Stephanie went to school, she was told she'd have to go to in-school suspension or her mom would have to pick her up. The school told Mom the hair was just too distracting.
I think it's bright, and it's brighter than what I intended it to be. But I don't think it's a distraction. I mean, I don't think that children are going to sit in class and not be able to concentrate on their schoolwork because their hair is red.
Now at 9, what do you think about the school's decision here? Keep in mind, wild colors that aren't natural are against its policy.
That's the thing. It's written.
Right.
It's written.
Yeah, this is a really tough one because it doesn't look distracting to me. We talked about it, and I mean this with all due respect. It wasn't the greatest dye job.
No, it wasn't. I wouldn't let my daughter do that to her
wasn't
hair.
the greatest highlights, but to say that it was a distraction, I find that hard to believe. And what about all the redheads in school? Are they not allowed to go to this school? Because, I find it a little over the line. I thought it was a little extreme. But the mom, in her defense, she did take her daughter immediately back to the salon to get it toned down a bit. So she went, she was making an effort, and the mom said, I did not mean in any way for my daughter to get in trouble over this. I believe in the school policy, but she felt like it was a little over the top.
There are so many ways to look at this. I mean, you can just take that die-hard route. Hey, a rule is a rule, and she broke it. They have a policy, and that's how it is. But then again, you got to think. You got to choose your battles. Is she a good student? Is she disruptive in class? If not, really? Do we really want to pick on her like that?
It's tough.
Well, Fern Shuya is sounding off. She says, I feel bad for the little girl, but at the same time, I guess we need to teach our kids that rules are rules and are meant to be followed.
Yeah, Tova says the handbook says that red hair is against policy. Then does that mean that children with naturally red hair, which is what I said, are violating school policy? Red is a natural hair color and is not a distraction.
I think what their policy is unnatural hair colors. All right, we want to get to Scott Bronchia's comment. He says, I would let my daughter dye her hair any color she wants, just as long as she maintains her good grades.
And that's the bottom line here. I mean, obviously, her mom was trying to do something cool for her 12th birthday. She's 12.
It's going to be one of those rules that you don't think of.
And it varies from school to school, but I don't know about you guys. I remember going to school with kids who had blue hair and purple hair in high school, mind you, but still.
And Greg here on Facebook says, I just wish I had hair.
Yeah.
So,
Crystal White on Facebook says, that's going to forever scar this child. Such crap.
But I think it'll teach them, pay attention to the rules. Just look, just read the fine print.
Yeah.
Maybe, they should have definitely looked at the rules before, Mom should have found out whether or not it was going to be okay before she spent the money and,
And really
got
quickly,
her child's hopes up.
Tress Pool says, so much for being an individual. And that's the thing. You don't want to stifle her originality and her coolness and all that, but at the same time, the rules say it in black and white.
They do. Well, we appreciate your creativity.